So, let me talk to you about how 90 days can change your life. 90 days can change your life. That might not seem like it's real, but I promise you it is. In 90 days, everything can be different. Everything can change. If you make a decision, you take action on that decision, and you go all in. And I'll tell you, I did my first 90-day run in 1992. Some of you are like, that was before I'm alive. But first one I did. And here's what inspired me. The company I was with was doing some amazing things, and myself and a few other leaders decided September 1st of that year we were going to go after it. The company was small at the time. They're doing like $1 million a month in sales. So not a big company. 1992. And one of my early mentors said to me, Eric, I wonder, he's a friend and mentor, a friender. He said, what do you think would happen if we just went all in starting September 1st and gave it every single ounce of energy we had? I wonder what could happen if we did that for 90 days. And we sat and we strategized and we mapped it out. You said, you know what? Why not? When you really think about how much of your total potential have you given, you might be a productive babe, but is it maximum? Probably not maximum. And I made the decision, and mind you, I had just made the previous year like $105,000. I made $105,000 for that year, and it felt like I was pushing a rock uphill the whole time. Like if I got distracted for 1 second, my team would fall apart. I mean, there's no duplication, no momentum. The growth was me doing everything. So I started September 1st, and we had this little saying, whoever talks to the most people wins. Me and these other few little people, whoever talks to the most people wins. It's a race. 1 at a time, 5 at a time, 10 at a time, it doesn't matter. Whoever talks to the most people wins. And we started September 1st, and I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna go all in. I started at 8 a.m. every day, and I went till midnight every day. 7 days a week. I went to sleep, got up again, did it again. And I stayed completely focused on income-producing activities during those 16 hours. And I realized several things. First of all, nobody's there at 8 a.m., nobody's there at midnight. Everybody calls you crazy. You question yourself, you doubt yourself. Your voice is tired. You're physically tired, you're energetically tired, but you find your new passion for the next day and off you go. And I started at 8 a.m. and went till midnight. I did that 7 days a week. 7 days a week for 90 straight days. Whoever talks to the most people wins. Whoever talks to the most people wins. Whoever talks to the most people wins. I'm gonna go, okay? I'll give you a few things that happened. One is I found out that I thought I was working, and I wasn't. And I also found out that once you go into that speed, you look around and realize nobody in the company is working. And you are. It's almost like you went to a different parallel universe where there's less friction, you have more altitude, and you're flying while they're crawling. And you're like, why don't they do what I'm doing? I don't understand. Because I'm getting these results and I'm showing up. And I thought, I went all in. In my first 30 days or so, I recruited about 30 people, okay? And that is filling every minute with finding prospects, inviting prospects, presenting to prospects, following up with prospects, calling them again the next day, getting them started, signing people up, registering, go, all day. I signed up about 25 people, and I had about 120 people on the team by the end of 30 days from this new effort, okay? 120 people on the team. So I'm like, 16 hours a day, 30 straight days, 120 people. How bad do I have to be? I suck. I should have more results than this. And I talked to my friend who he had like 300, 350. I was like, what the heck, man? He said, just be patient. These are seeds. These are seeds. This isn't the crop. These are seeds. Month 1 is seeds, just putting it in the ground. That's all you're doing. You can't expect to have the harvest the moment you plant the seeds. This is month 1. Okay. Just breathe. Next month, I did it again. I kept going. And I had like 350 or something on the team, month 2. Month 3, November, I had something like 750, 800 people on the team. So, it's doing this, which is so much more than I'd ever had. And during this same period of time, I want you to imagine a couple things. The other person that was about 10 years older than me and way more experienced than me, bigger brand than me, bigger name than me, all that stuff, more skilled than me for sure. He had like 2.5, 3 times what I had. But I had more than most other people had. And the company went from $1 million a month in sales to $14 million a month from September to December. And during that period of time, they were literally back ordered on product for virtually every single day of that 90 days. Because they did not anticipate that sales. It just came out of the blue. It didn't come out of the blue, it came out of us. But while everybody else in the company, you know what they were doing? I can't recruit when they're not shipping product. I can't sign up customers when they're not shipping product. They're back ordered. I'll wait. When they have the product, I'm gonna go talk to people, but I'm not gonna be embarrassed in front of my prospects. At the same time, myself and this little group of people said, you know what? Guess what? The company's back ordered on product. You know what that means? That means get in position now. That means this is the hottest thing in the world. That means you're on the launch pad for something amazing. Be grateful. Everybody in our organization had one product. They said, here, you can look at it, but you can't have it. They just had one, as to just show people what it is. Can't have it. If you sign up, I have one for you, but that's all you get to have. And they might ship it in December. Everybody else in the company was complaining, and we were gaining market share. Percentage point after percentage point after percentage point after percentage point, we were gaining market share while they were all mumbling and grumbling, and what was an obstacle for them was an opportunity for us. Now, I want to tell you what happened. Fast forward, 1993. My 1099 for that year was $980,000. The year before, 1992, total, 105,000 to 980. Do you think that was life-changing at age 29? Pretty life-changing. Pretty life-changing. And so that set me up to have a career. The next, early in 1994, if you ever heard the talk that I did inside of GoPro, it's called A Call to Action, this little 14-minute talk, that speech, that was me in that company at Reunion Arena in front of 14,000 people, smashing that talk. And I became somebody. I became known. My team was proud of me. My team wanted to say, see that kid? He's the guy. He's the guy. Let me go introduce you to him. He's my upline. People started bringing people to me. See, people started hearing about my work ethic. People started hearing about what my discipline and what I was prepared to do. They started hearing about it. And they started to join without a push.
It's time for another revolution.
Oh yeah, listen to my voice.
The universe. It's called the law of use. And it says simply this: whatever you don't use, you lose. Lack of use causes loss. Ambition unused declines. Faith unused
decreases.
If you don't use your skills,
you lose your skills.
If you don't use your freedom,
you lose your freedom. I could do it today. All right, stop it. So I practiced that talk for 90 straight days. I had it down so cold because my mentor, here's what happened, how that talk happened. I really wanted to be on stage really bad. And I was like number 7 or something in the company. And there was very spare time for little keynotes. So I'm with the number 1 distributor and the CEO of the company, and I'm just like joking, hanging out. We're talking about the event coming up, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, he might be number 1, but I beat him in the speaking competition. And the CEO said, oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna put you both on stage. You're both going to get like 14, 15 minutes. And I'm going to have some judges in the audience, and we'll see. We'll see who's the better. I'm like, yes, I got it. And then I'm like, oh no, I got it. Like, I got to go up against this guy now. But guess what I knew? He was a better networker than me, but he couldn't out-prepare me. I was going to be prepared for the moment. I was going to be prepared for the opportunity. And I did. I prepared and I prepared and I prepared. There's no video of it. I wish there was video of it. There's just the audio file from that old talk. But that is, what, 30 years? So that was my first one. 94, I did it again. 2005, did it again. I've probably done, when I was building in the field, 6 in 15 years, something like that. So which makes me, Sandro talks about his 6 in 4 years. That's next level thinking, because it's no joke. The commitment is real. Those of you on his team that have done the 90-day run, you know how real it is. So when I went back and analyzed why this works, why does this work? Here's why the 90-day run's so powerful. First, success loves speed. I've learned this true thing. Success loves speed. An accelerated burst, a burst of intensity. It is attracted to speed. And speed is attractive by itself. The energy of it is attractive by itself. It makes people want to catch up. It makes people want to be closer. It makes people want to be connected to the cause and to the movement. It's about velocity. It's about momentum. And I will tell you what I learned is speed, a burst of energy, is more efficient than steady state production. If you're going to recruit 50 people, and I give you choices, here's to kind of prove the idea. And you're going to do 1 a month for 50 months. That's same 50 people now. 1 a month for 50 months. You're going to get 1 result. If you do 1 a week for 50 weeks, is it a different result than the same people now? 1 a month or 1 a week? Which group is going to be more productive? The one you brought in 1 a week or what you brought in 1 a month? Week or month? Week. Why is that? Condensed energy. What if you did it in 50 days instead of 50 weeks? What are the results then? That's what a 90-day game plan feels like. What if you did it in 50 hours instead of 50 days? Could you? Is it possible? Could it happen? Is it physically possible? Of course it is. It'd be hard. But could you do it? Yes. Now think about people who came in 50 hours, 50 people in 50 hours, all coming in, connected, working together, excited, part of a movement, part of a cause, part of a mission, part of the new class of 2025 that's going to go on and crush it in the future. Competing with each other, learning from each other, growing with each other, making friends with each other, versus 1 a month, they hardly even know each other. So intensity attracts. I will tell you, if you go fast for a burst, you're going to recruit the same people anyway. A burst is just easier. It's going to be hard in the time, but it's easier in the results. It's easier. It creates excitement, it creates results, it builds stories. And before you think this might not be for you, I'll explain. Let's say this is Henderson International Airport or whatever, and this is an airplane. So let's say we jump on my airplane, and I say, come on, let's go. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be spectacular. And we're on the airplane, we're loaded, ready to go, and I give it 10% throttle. Any pilots in the room? Anybody pilot? You? If I give it 10% throttle, am I going to take off? No, why not? Not enough. I can't get any altitude. We talked about altitude before. I can't get any altitude. There's not enough intensity to be able to get off the ground. But here's where we get tricked. We get tricked because we load up in the airplane and 10% throttle because we're part-time. 10% throttle. And we start moving. And we go, hey, everybody, we're moving. Do you feel it? Look, things are moving on the runway. And people get this illusion of productivity because there's movement, but there's no altitude. Movement, no altitude. So what if you go to 20% throttle, my pilot friend? 20% throttle, you gonna get off the ground? No. Well, you're gonna get twice as fast to what? The end of the runway. So some people, they're like 20%, oh, I gotta turn around. I'm gonna, how about 30%? Now you're faster to run out of runway. So what do you have to do to get off the ground? What kind of power? 100%. To get off the ground. What if I only want to fly to Los Angeles, which is 30 minutes away? That's all. I should be able to do it less. Why? It's a short flight. I'm part-time. What if I'm a part-time pilot? If I'm a part-time pilot, and I'm here to be able to create momentum, does it care if I'm part-time or full-time? Does the airplane care if I'm part-time or full-time? It doesn't care. It just knows in order to be able to get off the ground, whether you want to make $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $500,000 a month, no matter what you want, no matter what the altitude ultimately, this is just how it is. You got to go hardcore for a minute. Hardcore for one sprint. You don't have, my pilot friend again, if I get to 10,000 feet, should I keep it at 100%? Why not? What will happen? What if I keep it at 100% the whole flight? It's not possible. The engine's going to be damaged. Of course. But once I'm at an altitude that I like, what kind of throttle can I maintain? 75, 80. So you can maintain at an altitude for a long time once you get it off the ground. When you're in the air, it could be 70, 75%, but you're going way faster because you had to use all that energy to get up. You pull back on the energy, you ride it out. You want to get to another altitude, you do it again. But here's the truth. The truth is to get off the ground requires 100%. Now you can do it for a week if you want and build a decent little part-time income in 1 week of all-in activity. If you're able to hold it for longer, you can do it for longer. So here's the thing. I want to get to an altitude. I decide I want to do this. I'm going to go do it. I make the commitment, say, okay, I'm going to go. And I get rid of all distractions. I clear the decks. I say, you know what? I'm going to focus. We're taking off now. I'm not reading books while we're taking off when I'm in the pilot seat. I'm not studying anything. I'm taking off. And what's taking off? Income producing activity, talking to prospects, following up with prospects, helping people get launched, closing, getting started, all of that stuff. So I need to focus on this only, and then I focus on support. So growth, and then support. Gather enough strength, refuel, get your energy back to have another growth period. 90-day run number 2. Now, I'll give you a couple realities in this 90-day run. Why did I pick 90? It was just random. That's what we ended up doing. And I realized you can kind of do anything for 90 days, but 90's it feels like the max. Because if you've ever really done one, at the end of the 90, you are dragging. You need to stare at the wall for a minute. You need to just recharge your batteries. You just need to shake it out to be able to make it happen, right? And gather your strength. And while you're gathering strength, you can support, guide, train, mentor, walk other people through the process, and gather strength, and say, okay, it's time, next one. Who's next? And it's not taking your old group to the next level, it's you taking a new group to the next level. So world class, in my opinion, is one a year. You do one 90-day run a year, you could support for nine months. 90 days, 9 months. That's a good trade versus 80% throttle for forever and never get off the ground. You know how annoying it is to be 80% throttle and never get off the ground? How much fuel you use, how many relationships you jeopardize, how much balance you sacrifice for nothing. Some of you have been stuck at 80% for years. You just got to go to 100 for a minute. Doesn't take that long to get to 10,000 feet. Once you get there, it's okay. So, I want to talk to you about 5 stages of building a 90-day run. 5 stages. Stage 1 is making a decision. Decide you're going to do it. Decide I'm running. Decide I'm going. Just decide you're going to do it. That's the hardest part. Decide you're doing it even before you know how you're going to do it. Decide you're going to do it even before you have it all figured out. Decide you're going to do it before you figured out what you're going to do with your family, what you're going to do with your job, what you're going to do with everything else. Now, if you're full-time, when you make this decision, we'll talk about that in step 2. Just remind me to talk about full-time, part-time, okay? So decision is number 1. Number 2 is preparation. You need to prepare properly for a 90-day run if you're going to do it right. You need to prepare. Preparation. You need to talk with family. You need to take care of other obligations. You need to clear the time. You need to clear the schedule. You need to mentally focus. You need to do all these different things. We'll talk about that. Preparation is important because some people say, I'm doing a 90-day run starting tomorrow. I will just tell you, it's going to be hard to go 100% without getting some of your affairs in order to be able to actively, functionally do that. Otherwise, you're going to have to start and stop and start and stop. And I understand the enthusiasm, but you don't have to prepare for a long time. You could prepare for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks maybe, but get the preparation done. And we'll talk about preparation in a moment. Part 3 is pre-launch. Pre-launch. There's a period of time that's magical right before you launch, before the 90 days actually starts. So you decide, you prepare, and then you have a pre-launch period of time when you're unbelievably powerful. And I'll talk about how powerful this pre-launch is if you do it right. What I call a whisper campaign. Part 4 of a 90-day run is the actual 90 days itself. And it's just all in, all out, going crazy, no distractions, blinders on, income producing activity, new growth, existing teams on their own, doing their thing, new team focus. The 90 days itself. And then part 5 is post-launch. After your 90-day run is over. So how do you effectively maintain? Because if you don't do it, if you do it right, the post-launch, you'll keep your momentum that you created. If you do it wrong, you'll fall off the cliff and you'll lose a bunch of the productivity, and a bunch of the seeds that you planted won't have their best chance of success. So what you do immediately after a big burst of energy is actually very, very, very important in order to be able to keep most of the growth. So these are the 5 areas. So in designing your game plan, sometimes you can have different themes if you want to. Various themes. You could have a different theme for different 90-day runs if you want to. Most of the time, it's a recruiting thing, bringing in a new class, the class of 2024, the class of 2025, the spring class of 2025, whatever you want it to be. So it could be about general growth. It'd be about, you could do a 90-day run to get to a new rank if you want to. You could do a 90-day run to requalify at your existing rank if you want to. You could do a 90-day run to stop crawling. You can do a 90-day run just to do it again and show the team and be an example. But decide about that. And then think about your 90-day run story. So your 90-day run story. Here's the question for all of you. When you're getting ready to do your 90-day run, here's what I mean by story. What are you going to tell people? Why are you doing this? What are you going to tell the team? What are you going to tell your prospects? Because if you have a story around and a vision around the 90-day run, and they're a piece of that vision, they're going to act differently than if it's just normal, everyday recruiting. If they could be part of a movement, a cause, a mission, some people in your life know that you've been successful, but they feel like the train's left the station already. They feel like it's too late for them. This will give them an opportunity to do something fresh with you now that you have experience. Okay? So think about your 90-day story. Why are you doing this? What results are you expecting? What's your vision? What results are you expecting? How will people benefit for this 90-day run? What kind of people are you looking for? What is your strategy to make it happen? What kind of support are you going to offer during this run? So just in general, think about all the things that you can tell somebody that would inspire them. Why should I care about your 90-day run? Oh, here's why you should care. Because we're going to create some wealth during this 90-day run. We're going to identify new future leaders during this 90-day run. I'm going to throw myself into supporting people during this 90-day run. You decide to run with me, we're going to change the world during this 90-day run. Are you in or you out? See, they'll join a 90-day run more than they'll join your products, more than they'll join your opportunity, more than they'll join your company. They'll join you. Why? Here's the feeling you want to give people with the intensity of this. Here's the feeling. I don't know what Eric's doing. I don't understand it completely, but here's what I feel. He's going to make some money. He's committed. He is all in. And if I just get around him, maybe some of that's going to rub off on me. Maybe I can benefit from just being around that level of intensity, because if you sell out all the way and you say, I'm going all the way to the top, bet against me. That'll be fun. Go ahead. I'm not going to lose. And if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, I'm not going to let you lose. Let's do something outrageous. Let's do something crazy. Let's do something outstanding. Are you in or you out? I'll tell you about the products later. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you about the compensation plan. That's not important. Here's what's important. We're going to create a movement. And in 90 days, everything can be different for you. The things that you're dissatisfied with your life, you can be on the way to something better. In just 90 days, I want you to just imagine how fast 90 days goes. Bang, gone. January, February, March, it's over. But your life changed. Or January, February, March, it's over and nothing changed. So, gets me fired up, man. Telling you. So let's talk about preparation. Preparation. You make a decision, you create your why, you're ready to go. How do you prepare for a 90-day run? There's some things that you need to do. First is your personal commitment. When it comes to your schedule, when it comes to your time, when it comes to your sacrifice. Your personal commitment. Now, I reminded myself, I'm part-time, full-time. If you're full-time, that means we're going all in. Tell me what you're prepared to do. Here's what I'm prepared to do. Having done it many times, what I will tell you now is I wouldn't recommend 7 days a week. I would recommend 6 just to save your voice. Literally. And a little bit of body recharge. Just the 1 day a week. Maybe it's for your faith, maybe it's with your family, maybe it's with whatever else. But those other 6 days, it's like you're on the North Pole. You're not reachable with the regular world. And you're fully committed. So that's, what I would recommend if you're going all in, 14 to 16 hours a day, no joke. If you're part-time, you're working a job, 6 to 8 hours a day. What do you mean? I'm working a job. I understand. But before work, you have time. During breaks at work, you have time. During lunch, you have time. When you go to the bathroom, you have time. On your drive home and your drive to work, you have time. After work, you have time. This is all in. You want to get away from that job? Then let's go. If you don't, hey, put in your couple hours, you can make a few bucks. This is not for you. Look, I will just tell you, join, come along when you're ready, and you don't have to be part of this 90-day run to be part of the company. When you're ready to run, then we'll go. If you're not, it's cool, no problem. But I'm working with people who want to run right now. So, first of all, what is your commitment? What is your schedule? What is your sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your sports team? Are you willing to sacrifice some time with family during 90 days in order to be able to take care of family for forever? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort? Are you willing to sacrifice your time and attention? Are you willing to sacrifice scrolling mindlessly versus on purpose? Are you willing to sacrifice? A lot of people aren't. You need to be willing to. Next, you need to negotiate with your family. You need to sit down with your family, your loved ones, and you need to say, Mom's about to do something. And it's going to be a challenge for the family. Kids, it's going to be a challenge for you. Husband, it's going to be a challenge for you. But here's my vision. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to accomplish. And I think we can change our whole family's life in 90 days. And when I say negotiate, I mean negotiate. Have a conversation and say, would you be willing to push me for 90 days? Even though that means I'm not going to be as available as possible over these 90 days in order for us to all as a family be able to enjoy the things we want to enjoy and do the things we want to do and go the places we want to go? Will you push me? Get the kids involved. Every time you see mama slow down, you have permission to yell at mama. Guys, I mean, and I will tell you, the first time I did this, I didn't negotiate with family, and it was a mistake. I just decided and said, hey, you're along for the ride. Let's go. You'll get some resentment if you do that. If you involve them in the process, share your vision. The first recruit is yourself. The second recruit is your family. Recruit them. Well, they don't support me. Well, you haven't recruited them very well. You need to recruit them better. You need to sell them on your vision. You need to let them feel like it's going to be worth it. Even if you're not getting support. How many people at some point in your career felt like you didn't get the support that you were hoping to get? Be honest. Okay. If you're currently not getting support or at any moment in time you didn't get support, here's the best thing you can do with the people who are not supporting you. Will you let me go 90 days all in before you fully judge it? Will you support me during 90 days in order for me to see what's possible? You know why many of them don't support you? At least the way you want to be supported, you know why? They're tired of watching you crawl. You're at 80% throttle, taking all the time away from the family, taking all the time away from the home, taking all the time away from your loved ones, and you're not showing the results. You're getting progress, but no altitude. You're moving forward, but you're not earning anything. And how many people changed their attitude when the spouse brought home a reasonable check? And they went, oh, I believe it now. I'm in now. All right, mama, go. Do another 90-day run. We got this. I'll hold the fort at the house while you get it all done, right? So go and negotiate with those people who don't support me. Support me just for 90 days. And if I haven't created some sort of momentum, results, altitude in those 90 days, then let's talk. But let me do it all in once without feeling guilty. Will you give me the gift of letting me run without having to feel guilty, please? One time. And here's what will happen. Now you got some stuff at stake. Now you're held accountable to your dream. Now you got to make it work, which is where I want you. I want you to have that gift of desperation. So personal commitment, negotiate with family. Third on the list is eliminate distractions. And something for your notes. All distractions are equal. All distractions are equal. That means laundry, email, social media, dating, your phone, sports, television, parties, cooking, going to get groceries, your hobbies. You know what's one of the biggest distractions? If you've been around and you want to do a 90-day run, you know what it's been? You know what it'll be? Your existing team. How many of you have children, and the moment you pick up the phone, they start screaming and hollering. As soon as you put the phone down, they stop? You ever had that? Same thing happens with your team. You're trying to, come on, guys, let's go. Come on, let's run. Come on, let's run. And they're like, no, I'm distracted. I'm fine. I'm good. As soon as you say, okay, I'm going to go build a new team, they're like, hey, I need your help. Will you do a 3-way call with me? Will you do a Zoom call with me? And then you come over to do a Zoom call. Oh, we decided not to do it. So you need to, one of the biggest distractions is your existing group. You need to go have a conversation with them and say, for the next 90 days, I'm not available. I love you, but there's support systems available to you. There's ways you can get training, ways you can get calls, ways you can get Zooms. I am building a new team. I am giving you the gift of my example. I'm going to show you how to do it versus tell you what to do. Watch me or join me in building your own 90-day run. So, next thing in preparation is an unshakable commitment. And you're going to want to shake this commitment. I cannot tell you, the first time you did a 90-day run, Sandra, was there any time where you felt like, you know what, this is a lot? Any time? Or you're just good? You're just good. Not me. I was not good. I was like, after a week, I felt so sorry for myself. Like, somebody give me some attention because I'm working so hard. You ever have somebody that worked a really long day, they worked 24 hours or something, and they told everybody about it for the next 24 months? That one day that worked hard? After I'd done a week, oh my gosh, did I want sympathy from other people. I was calling people just to let them know how hard I was working. Let me tell you about my last 7 days. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. I went, wait a minute. That's not doing anything. So, an unshakable commitment that you're going to go through the end of this 90 days. Unless you are a unicorn like Sandro, you're going to feel like quitting at some point during that period of time. I did. I questioned everything. After 30 days, I could barely talk. My voice was worn out. I didn't have that big of a team. I mean, when I figured out how much I was getting paid per hour during those first 30 days, I was just like, this is not adding up at all. But I had the commitment. I stayed. And then finally, in preparation, pick your launch date. Pick the date that you're going to launch. Okay? Preparation might take you a week or so to really prepare. And I prefer to have about 2 weeks of pre-launch. 2 weeks of pre-launch before your official date. And let me tell you about pre-launch, because it's one of my favorite things about a 90-day run. If you do a pre-launch properly, you'll recruit people that you'll never have a chance to recruit any other time in your career during the pre-launch. This opens a window to super influential people. It opens a window to people that wouldn't join you any other time. They wouldn't be a normal recruit, but they would join during this pre-launch time. And here's what it is. I call it a whisper campaign. So I'm calling Debbie. I'm saying, Debbie, I got to tell you about something. On January 2nd, we're starting this launch. And let me tell you my vision for it. Working with the company, January, February, March, going to be game-changing. I'm taking a group of people, and I'm taking my experience, their contacts, we're locking arms, and we're going to run for 90 days, okay? And during this period of time, I'm taking everything that I've learned, everything that I know, right? I'm going to match it with your context, your enthusiasm. I'll learn from you, you learn from me. But as of April, everything can be different. You can, at a minimum, create a nice additional cash flow income, at a minimum. At a maximum, you might be able to create something even bigger. So I'm not telling anybody else about it because it's not starting officially until January 2nd. But on January 2nd, everything changes. So I just got to ask you, I'll tell you about the products. Don't worry about the products. I'll tell you about the compensation plan. We got time for that. I just need to know, I'm putting together an inner circle of superstars, of absolute rock stars. And I want them to be ready. on January 2nd, and we'll work together between now and then. So when we hit it, the company won't even know what happened. They're gonna say, what happened? Because recruiting just changed, market share just changed, everything just changed inside the organization. And they won't know that we were preparing for weeks, you know? So I just gotta know, based upon just this 5 minutes, do you have an interest? Is this something that you want to talk about? Because I only have time to work with people who I wanna lock arms with, who's gonna be part of this when we launch. Because once I'm launched, I'm not gonna have time. It's gonna be bang, 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 bang. So we have to prepare between now and then, okay? So if you have an interest, let's get together, let's talk, right? That's a different recruiting conversation than any other time. If you do it during your launch, I can't have it. If she's a very powerful business person, if she's an entrepreneur, she's a business owner, she's gonna say, I don't have time, you know, this is small potatoes. Network marketing, come on, whatever. What are you talking about? I'm like, no. I'm putting a team together. We're gonna go take market share from this company. This company is doing X number of dollars. The goal is in the first 12 months to get 5% of that for us. And then 10, and then 15, and then 20. Your influence, your contacts, your enthusiasm, your energy, my experience. Let's go, right? So that, I want you to understand how powerful, I got something to share. Don't tell anybody, but we're gonna launch February 1st. Don't tell anybody, we're gonna launch March 15th. Don't tell anybody, well, we're about to do this amazing thing. Would you like to know about it? You wanna be a part of it, yes or no? If you don't, it's fine. If you do, it'll be fun. Let's do something fun. Let's shock the world. Let's go get some market share. This company, I believe, is gonna be a $1 billion company. Let's go get 10% of it for 100 million. Company pays out 40%. 100 million, 40%. What is that? $40 million divided up in our group? That's what's available. That's what's at stake. That's what's on the table. We're gonna plant the seeds now. We're gonna reap the rewards in the future. You in or you out, right? So I have this pre-launch, which is basically to warm up your contacts and to let them know, psst, whisper campaign. This is when you can approach the most powerful people you know, and they won't feel like a cheap recruit. They'll feel special that you singled them out, especially if you've been around for a while, that you singled them out. I'm gonna go do it again. Nobody knows this. Some of you are at high ranks in your company. You can say, nobody knows this. As you know, I've been successful, but I'm about to do it again. And 10 times better because I'm 10 times smarter than I was, okay? So then the launch, all out massive action. All out massive action. Keep the focus on recruiting, keep the focus on growth, keep the focus on team building. There's plenty of time to get customers. This is, frankly, during the 90-day run, this is about team building. This is a business run. This is a business launch. You're building a network of people. You're growing the team. After the 90-day run, we'll all go get customers. We want to build a team of a lot of people doing a little bit, and then we'll help them become more efficient as we go. So focus on recruiting. And focus exclusively on income-producing activity, IPA, income-producing activity, exclusively. And you could become very, very good at fooling yourself that you're keeping busy, telling each other how excited you are. But if you want to really go, be disciplined around what type of activity you're really doing. Tell the truth. Is this an income-producing activity or is this a distraction? Oh, I have to train them. No, you don't. Put together a self-replicating training program in your preparation in your pre-launch so you can load people into that and let them know, hey, you're gonna go watch these 5 videos after you join that's gonna teach you how to do everything that you need to do because I'm not gonna have the time. Bang through it, get it done. See what I mean? Because, well, I have to train, I gotta help. No, you gotta build a network. This is about running to build a network as fast as you can, as hard as you can, as focused as you can. And some of you are like, well, people are pulling at me, I feel bad. Stop. The only thing you should feel bad about is if you lose your focus. Income-producing activities. Manage your time, and more than managing your time, manage your emotions. If people judge you, let them. Right? If people start and stop, let them. It's fine. If people join and quit, let them. It's okay. Not everybody's going to get to the end. It's all right. Distraction management. We're easily distracted. Continue your personal recruiting and then duplicate. See, I will tell you, in like first 30 days, as many frontline as you could possibly bring in your first 30 days. And usually if you're running really hard, at the end of 30 days, there's more gold to be mined in the people that you recruit frontline than there is in your frontline recruits. Does that make sense? Let's say you recruit 20 people in those first 30 days, and they each know 200. That's 4,000 people that you can be a third-party resource to go in the second 30 days. You got 4,000 people to prospect. Between you and those 20, there's 4,000 people to prospect. You're now digging inside of the organization. Some are a destination, some are a doorway. In the third 90 days, what's 4,000 times 200? 80,000? No, it's way more than that, 800,000. Right? There's 800,000 to reach out and contact in your third 90 days. Or excuse me, your third 30 days. Frontline, dig, and put in quantity. Whoever talks to the most people wins. How many presentations can you do? How many presentations can you put me in front of? How many people can you put me in front of? Connect me with the people on your team. Set up the three-way chats with your prospects. Three-way chat with me and your team. DM them and connect me. Let's go. All day, every day. Get them to watch a tool. Get them to take a look at a magazine article. Get them to take a look at a video. Invite them to a Zoom call. When I did my 90-day runs, it was before Zoom. It was conference call time, okay? If you do this right, how many Zooms did you do a day during your 90-day run, Sandro? Per day. Were there big Zooms or just individual Zooms? Individual Zooms. Here's what I will tell you. What I did as far as conference calls during my 90-day runs, it was 10 a.m., first conference call, noon, second conference call, 2 p.m., third one, 4 p.m., fourth one, and then 8 p.m., a big one with a getting started training at the end. So I told everybody at 10 o'clock to bring their prospects to 12 o'clock. I told everybody at 12 o'clock, bring your prospects to 2 o'clock. I told those people at 2 o'clock, bring their prospects to 4 o'clock. And at 4 o'clock, I told everybody to come back for an overview at the end of the day and an update on what's going on and a quick start training. And I did that every day. And in between that, I was just inviting people into that. Does this sound intense? Is this blowing your freaking heads off your shoulders? I get it, it is. This is not for tourists. This is only for people who want to change their life. Okay? So, dig, come up with systems, come up with processes, dig in order to come up with systems, come up with processes, and by the time you get done, then you can focus on supporting all the people who joined. Now you got time to plug them in. Now you got time to reach out and give a personal touch. Now you got time to start doing a little bit more hand-holding, a little bit more encouragement, a little bit more motivation, a little bit more accountability. Whatever it is that you're doing, give them a vision. My best results always came at the end, if I timed it for the very end of the 90-day run, for there to be an event. If there was a big event at the end, and we were all pushing everything to that event, we got to get to that date, get to that. Whoever gets the most people to that date is going to win. We got to build a bigger network in order to make it happen. Okay? So if there's an event at the end, is always the best. So all out massive action, personal recruiting as long as you possibly can in order to be able to shift into digging into this group, in order to be able to shift into digging into their group. And then it's whoever talks to the most people wins. It's just a simple math game, it's quantity. Well, I want to focus on quality. Well, good luck. Focus on quality. Have fun. Quantity is 100%. Quality is 20%. I'd rather have you have intensity and velocity than look cool all the time. Just get off the ground and we'll figure it out. All right. Finally, post-launch, what do you do afterwards? Because if you're building all this stuff, here's the danger. We're gonna go January, February, March, and April 1st, we're done. We got a big event April 1st. It's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have people from around the world. Here's the vision, here's the dream. Here's the mission. Here's the cause. We're gonna pat each other on the back and say, well done. We do the event, and if you're not prepared, Have you ever gone to a convention and afterwards for 2 weeks, there's no productivity on your team? Yes. That ever happened to you? Yes. It's the same thing. You didn't have a plan when it ended. So here's how you make the shift. Here's how you make the shift. At the end of that 90-day run, you don't want to say to all the people who just joined, it's over. You don't want to say that. So, but you still actually need time to support, train, rest, but you don't want to say that either, right? So here's the trick. Even though you're not going 1,000 miles an hour, you need to make it look like you are. When it's over, you need to make it look like you're still in that same intensity, the same urgency, the same momentum, the same velocity, when you're actually spending more time supporting and training and connecting with people and regaining your strength. What I learned this from Michael Nelson, one of my first mentors. The second one I learned it from was Jeff Roberti, is you can make it look like you're going 1,000 miles an hour in less than 1 hour a day. It's easy. And you can be authentic, right, with it. But you don't need to tell everybody every single thing about your life. There's thing that happens in our business with leadership. Familiarity breeds what? Contempt. If you're too buddy-buddy with everybody, if there's not enough respect in the leadership line, people are going to produce less. What is our job? To get them to produce more. So one of my first mentors was actually a cross-line person for me. His name was Michael Nelson. He was in Minneapolis where I worked, and I learned so much from him. It was unbelievable. And one of the things, we used to do hotel meetings. And we'd meet at 7 o'clock, we'd do the opportunity meeting, we'd have a circle up afterwards, and typically people would go into the lounge of the hotel afterwards and go into the lobby bar or whatever, have a drink, and talk and socialize. And I was always hanging out and socializing. And Michael was running the meeting, doing all that stuff. He would come up, he'd get a bottle of water, somebody would drink. He said, guys, it's nice to meet you, it's nice to meet you, it's nice to meet you, but I got some opportunity calls. I got to get home. I've got Zooms. In today's world, I got Zooms to get on. I got people to talk to. I'm talking to people in other countries. I got to go. So I'll see you at the next meeting. It's going to be amazing. Load it up. I'll let you know. And he didn't tell me till later that he went home and went to bed. I was like, what? Really? He said, Eric, I was trying to help you. It wasn't about me. I was trying to paint a picture that was going to help you be more productive. He said, did it work? I said, yeah, it did. I was like, what? That guy's a freak. How? How is he doing this all the time? It was an urgency thing. You ever talk to somebody and they have 1 foot, they're going somewhere else? You're talking to them, yeah. They're going. And it always made me like, hold on, stop for a second. Train me for a minute, inspire me for a second. So Jeff Roberti was another one. He was always talking in urgency. We got to do it now. We got to go. Catch me if you can. I'm running. So you can let people know that your intensity is there, your purpose is there, your mission is there, without letting them think that now is not the time. You don't want everybody in the team wait till your next 90-day run in order to go to work. Do you? No. So you got to learn how to do, and this is the same advice I have for your conventions. You got to have something that starts for the whole team the day after your convention. A new campaign. the day after your launch ends, what's the new campaign for all the people that joined? What's the gift you can give them that will give them vision, focus, clarity, and cause them to take more of the correct action than they would have taken without that campaign? You understand? So this is something that changed my whole life. And as I'm describing it to you, I don't know if you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, or you know what, that sounds scary. Both are okay. One thing that I realized is a 90-day run is a really personal thing. Some of you are like, I'm gonna go to my team and say, team, run with me. And if they don't wanna run, then I'm not gonna run. Well, then you have to go do one in order to build a new team, because they're not thinking right. I usually started my runs alone. My existing team, if they wanted to follow me by example, fine. But I wasn't going to slow down to the pace of the group and short circuit my potential. I'll give you an example. For some of you, separation anxiety is really tough. When you're a little child, mom's out of the room. Where's my mom? Where's my mom? Where's my mom? What's going on? But separation anxiety as an entrepreneur is exceptionally tough. Because you get to $2,000 a month, and some of your friends get to $2,000 a month. And you say, you know what? I'm going to $4,000 a month. And they say, you know what? I'm not. All I wanted was a part-time thing. You have a choice now. They're at 2,000. You want to go to 4,000. You have a choice. Either stay back and stay with them and live with 2,000, or be willing to step into what you're capable of, going to 4,000. And you have to be willing to have that separation, because when you're moving forward, you're not leaving them behind. They're staying. People say, don't remember where you came from. Come on. If the people where you came from are staying there, you got a choice. You want to stay there? Because at $4,000 a month, going to $10,000 a month, there's going to be people who stay at 4,000, and you can, out of empathy, stay with them into 4,000. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let me drag you across the finish line. My first start in network marketing was like, I'm going to lock arms, and we're all going to win together. No matter what, we're all going to win together. I found out that was terrible advice to myself, because you can't carry everybody. You can put one over your shoulders. If you're really strong, you maybe put two. Try and carry 5. Try and carry 10. You can't do it. So either step into your potential or let go of those expectations. Let go of the expectations of having freedom if you're not willing to have separation from people who are staying behind. Let them stay behind if they want, without judgment, with love, compassion, and especially if they poke you. You're not a good upline. You didn't train me enough. You hardly gave me any support. And we feel guilty, so we back up and we hang out in the group and we feel loved when we've just been hobbled. And we live in at 2% of our potential. So here's what I want to tell you. There's nothing that can stop you if you really make a decision. And all this conversation we just had is just about decision plus intensity, right? Will create the results that you're looking for. You don't need to, you can let go of being cool. You can let go of being loved by everybody. You can let go of the admiration of others and, being talked well of. I told you Jeff Bezos, one of my heroes, he's just unbelievable. He said in this recent interview just like 3 days ago, he said, I gave up trying to justify myself to the world. I gave up trying to rationalize and explain myself to everyone. I just decided I was going to do what I needed to do, and I was going to build the team that I needed to build. I was going to let other people have whatever judgments they want. And if you can let go of other people's judgments, oh my gosh, where you can go. So whatever your limiting belief is, I promise you it is exactly that. You're too old, too young, you've been around too long, you don't have enough experience. Let go of all those things. And for 90 days, step into the highest possible version of yourself.